warm welcome, everyone, to today's live session on the SAP Business Data Cloud. So thank you for tuning in. This is actually the second session already of an entire series of webcasts on the topic of SAP Business Suite. So in the description of this video, as well as shortly also in the chat, you have the opportunity to access the playlist, which leads to all the past as well as upcoming sessions that are part of this webcast series. So use the opportunity to save already the meeting requests for the upcoming sessions in your calendar. And it would be great to also see you in the future in the sessions that we have scheduled in the next weeks. So today, I'm very happy to have Axel Meier as expert with us. So Axel is part of the product management for the SAP Business Data Cloud, as well as the intelligent applications enablement. And he's part of SAP SE and based in Germany. So you, the participants, have the opportunity to address your questions. You can do so by using the chat window already during the session. So we have experts monitoring the chat, already answering the questions there. And we will also have time for a Q&A part after the presentation. So without any further ado, I would now like to hand over to today's presenter. And Axel, the stage is all yours.
Thanks, Sinan. So thanks for having me. Welcome. I'm happy to walk you through this session today. So let me quickly share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So let's kick it off. So starting on this slide, for decades, SAP has always delivered, most mission critical applications like finance, supply chain, and also HR type of applications. And we're also powering, world's leading businesses these days. With solutions across every industry, we understand the transformative power of business data. Now, we've seen a clear pattern that data-driven organizations are way more likely to succeed than those still in early data maturity stages. Organizations further along their data maturity journey are able to connect data and analytics with business value. Okay, so business value really, provides an added value. And therefore, we believe the future of data and AI now requires a data platform and business applications coming together. We want to enable organizations with a trusted data foundation to be more agile, letting them finally close the loop by making data immediately usable with full business context. And that's kind of a repeat. So I used like business value before and now talking about business context, and if you're familiar with the topic of AI, so the business context and the value, play, an immediate role within the scope of AI. And therefore, we're going to enable seamless analytics planning, also reliable AI-driven insights, including a new line of business application. And specifically, we don't deliver them in isolation, but within an embedded way to directly access business workflows and business data. And therefore, this requires end-to-end integration of business processes, one where IT can deliver the most business value for their business counterparts. And therefore, the connection between insights and business decision is no longer operational, but a critical component to succeed in the area of AI. Looking at that slide, so we have the hidden tax of data extraction is always underestimated. So therefore, customer who did the data extraction based on our line of business applications, where we are highly normalizing our applications to provide frequent updates. So once customers, would like to start to extract those entities, it takes them, a lot of time and also a lot of investment to extract the data, to monitor the data extraction, and then also try to stitch the information together to rebuild everything from scratch, including the business semantics. And therefore, if you're extracting data, at least this is our learning, we also get feedback from customers. So once you start to extract data by yourself, of course, you're just simply extracting data. You're not providing the business context and the business insights anymore, as you're simply extracting the data. And rebuilding the business context, like how it all connects to each other, also the full description of the business data is lost if you simply extract the data. So therefore, it's going to be an added value if we would be able to provide you as a customer access to data with the full business semantics and context intact. Looking at that slide, so AI is all over the place, and AI, of course, requires a solid data foundation to connect business AI with your data foundation data, including data. So AI, from our perspective, becomes relevant within every application. And this is also a nice transition to the next slide, where we articulate the value of the SAP Business Suite. So therefore, the SAP Business Suite represents the future of enterprise management of comprehensive integrated set of solutions, which are designed to seamlessly connect and optimize every function across your enterprise. This architecture ensures that every corner of your business operates in sync. We're unlocking agility, efficiency, and also innovation at scale. With SAP Business Suite, businesses are no longer just prepared for future challenges, but they're also equipped to seize the opportunities around the corner. Looking at that slide, and I'm switching back to a laser pointer. So we are articulating within our cloud ERP offering, we have the different modules like financial management, spend management, supply chain management, and the like. So they all, are based of our cloud ERP offering. And on the outer rings will provide you kind of the agent and also the Joule technologies, where the agents by themselves get access to the application data, like your finance application data or your spend management data, supply chain, and the like. And Joule as the super agent to orchestrate end-to-end business processes are capable to handle end-to-end processes like order to cash, as an example, or hire to retire, which is kind of orchestrating, where Joule is orchestrating agents to collaborate with each other, because a number of business processes are spanning multiple modules, which can reside in different application types, like in ABAP-based systems, cloud-native-based systems, or other system types. So the agents by themselves, collaborate, orchestrated by Joule. So what also becomes clear, as we highlighted on the previous slides, we need to have a common data foundation established. So if you refer back into SAP R/3 times, so we had everything on the same system. So we had like one data management, because all of that data remains in a single database. So it was pretty simple to establish a collaboration in between the modules. But these days we're running in cloud environments. Again, the applications by themselves, have different technologies for deployment, but we still require a common data foundation, which is now being established using SAP Business Data Cloud, highlighted on the slide. So what are all the details on Business Data Cloud? I'm going to walk you through on the next slides. Looking at that slide, so we still have the application layer, and out of the applications these days, we are now capable to offer the option that the applications are providing business context-rich data in a data environment, which is detached to the line of business application database. So again, as a repeat, the applications by themselves, remain unchanged. Also, the full collaboration module on how the applications by themselves integrate. So this remains untouched. But as an added value, the leading applications are now providing highly curated data set from a business perspective designed like a business partner or a cost center hierarchy, as an example. And also, those applications are pushing the data into a detached a persistency layer where we also run processing of the data and curating the data for reuse. So therefore, we're switching from an extraction concept into a push concept so that the leading applications are pushing and syncing data to a detached persistency layer where the data gets pre-processed, like curated, and will also attach the metadata to the data for reuse. So therefore, we'll end up into a data layer which is actively managed by the leading applications because the applications by themselves, they syncing the data which is processed within their line of business and syncing that data out into a data environment where the data is being prepped. It's fully described with all metadata, ready for access by other application. And they're ready for access because, again, they are persisted on a completely detached environment where we have a tight integration from the leading application, but it's completely detached from the leading line of business application. Now, looking at the blue part, like the data layer, so this is pretty much what Business Data Cloud is all about, and I'm going to walk you through the further details. But now we're in a situation where we get access to line of business data, which is automatically synced with the leading application using a push concept to push the data and process the data on that layer. So we're transitioning now the ability to access data and become more agile in a way that our existing applications as an evolution now get access to the pre-processed data. What we talk about is a data product in our term. A data product, again, is provided and actively managed by the leading line of business application. They have the full business context in mind. And this data product is providing access to data along with metadata. So it's kind of an autonomous object. We can get access from our existing applications. Having said that, so AI, comes in. So AI now gets into situation to either access all the data from a data product perspective, again, with the full metadata description, along with our knowledge graph capabilities to also inherit the dependencies, like the access patterns in between the objects to derive the dependencies. So AI can get access to this one. But also from a business AI perspective, Joule, is deeply integrated in our applications to navigate on the agents and also orchestrate agents to collaborate to support an end-to-end business process. So AI plays a dual role, at least. It's supporting business AI, which is integrated into the applications. So the application data will be accessed by the AI agents. But AI, from a more general term, also gets the access to the data layer. So if you want to build your Gen AI scenarios or your AI in general using additional tooling like Databricks as an example, well, you can also get this AI created from a data perspective. Okay, transitioning to this slide, when I talked about the data box on the right side on the previous slide. So this is pretty much the light blue layer on this slide. Again, it describes that the leading applications are pushing their data and processing their data for reuse into that detached persistency and processing layer. So this is where you're ending up with the data products which provide a harmonized data model from the context perspective. Again, the data products are frequently synced on the data level from the leading applications, so no need from a customer perspective to orchestrate pipelines to extract the data and process the data. So the applications by themselves simply can get access to the data product. All right. Highlighting the upper part, when we talk about Business Data Cloud in general, it's kind of an evolution of our existing products. Starting on the right, so SAP DataSphere has been there since years, and now we're providing kind of an additional connectivity in DataSphere to establish access to the detached persistency and processing layer where the data products are persisted, so that DataSphere, can establish the access to connect to the data products on the detached persistency layer, which gets them in a situation to have the full governance part on using our data catalog capabilities in DataSphere to provide a governed access to the specific data products. But DataSphere by itself can access pre-created data. You're no longer required or forced to run data processing within DataSphere, but you can continue to do so. So there's no limitation on the capabilities you see in DataSphere today, but we're providing kind of an additional connector to access the data products where you get like the full history of data in the data product, and you can decide which data you want to process within DataSphere. You can also create like controlled redundancies in a way to persist the data in DataSphere. So that's all doable. You need to treat that as a natural evolution of DataSphere. The same is true with SAP Analytics Cloud. Of course, SAC can get access to DataSphere models, no change at all. So therefore, SAC also gets the benefits to access pre-created data sets like data products. The new kid on the block is Databricks. So the partnership between SAP and Databricks is pretty much that Databricks adapted to the open resource discovery protocol SAP was providing from an open source project perspective, where we're providing the metadata in addition to the Delta Share technology, which is owned by Databricks. So Databricks implemented the protocol, which is an evolution, like an add-on to the Delta Share, to also have the full metadata description now available for the data science community within Databricks to get them informed on the data they're accessing. So it's not anymore just a data set they're accessing. It's also the full description of the data set, which is being visualized within the Unity catalog. So the experience using Databricks, gets the next evolution as well, because now if they're accessing SAP data products, they also get all the informed information or get all the information on this is the data set talking about a cost center as an example, or cost center hierarchy. And now the data science community, who in a lot of cases don't have the full insights on the SAP processes and the SAP terms, now is being provided with all the metadata information as part of the autonomous data product object. So therefore, Databricks also joins forces to get access to the SAP data products. And it's similar how DataSphere would access the data products. What's also on the slide is we're now offering, in terms of BW modernization, the option to bring your BW system into the context of Business Data Cloud. So we're offering the ability to bring your BW 7.5 on HANA into the context of Business Data Cloud. We're also offering to bring your BW 4.0 into the context of Business Data Cloud. So if you're on your journey, not clear if you want to upgrade to 4.0 of BW or if you want to stay on 7.5. So the offering is pretty much in terms of BW modernization to bring your existing BW 7.5 as a minimum into the context of Business Data Cloud. We're kind of relaxing the demand to upgrade to 4.0. You can still do for sure, but you can also bring your existing 7.5 BW into Business Data Cloud. And from the context of the BW modernization, we're providing services, additional services, a service called Data Product Generator, where BW as a line of business application now has the ability to push data like BW data from your DSO levels into the data product level, like the object store technology we're using here, which is attached to DataSphere. So you can bring your BW data into the term of a data product to the attached object store of DataSphere as a first step, which enables the other services like DataSphere to get access to your BW data via the BW data product, which has been previously pushed from BW in that layer. But of course, also your BW data now becomes accessible without any further copy or data processing demand, accessible by SAP Databricks, to have a seamless access of your BW data, which today is within the line of business of BW, like not really accessible by default. But using the service, the data product generator available for BW 7.5 or BW and/or BW 4.0, we have the ability to push your BW data into the context of the data product to make that reusable from a DataSphere and also Databricks perspective. Later this year, the data product generator will also provide the ability to automatically migrate your existing BW queries into artifacts within DataSphere, like analytical models. So it's an automatic transition of your existing BW queries, get them re-platformed into DataSphere as an automatic process. So you'll be able to, in the first place, to push the data, like your composite provider level, where your query is connected to, into a persistency of data product. And your query will be then automatically migrated to DataSphere, which will be accessible later or available later this year. So we'll provide you with the data product generator, a way to lift and shift your existing BW applications into the platform of Business Data Cloud using the services of the data product generator. And once you want to get off a full application in BW, where you have the staging process to extract the data and feed your data to the DSOs connected to the composite provider. So once we have the right data product in place, so the staging process then can be rebuilt by using the data products, to have staging to feed the data into the data products which have been previously generated, where the queries are accessing the data to. So the staging process then can be re-implemented using the SAP data products. But in the first place, you can copy your BW data into the data products, then also have the queries accessing the data products. And once you're ready to completely get rid of a certain BW application, and it could be application by application, you also have the ability to use the data products as a staging layer to connect to the previously offloaded composite provider layer to feed the staging, which gets you into a situation to get rid of your BW staging process. And this is the way you can lift and shift your existing BW applications into Business Data Cloud, a term. All right, so having said that, so that was the topic on BW, just to set the scene. So there's a high value because we're automating a lot of those processes. And the missing part is for BW 7.5, we're also extending the maintenance of the product from to 2030. So it's 2027 if you're running on premise. We'll give you another 3 years. In addition, once you migrate your BW into BW 7.5 PCE, which gets you into 2030, for BW 4.0, it remains end of maintenance by 2040. But again, for BW 4.0, we'll also have the data product generator enabled. Right, looking at the most right part, so we also enable AI Foundation, which gets you into the way to also extract or to access non-structured data. So AI Foundation gets you the capability, along with the ability to integrate with SAP Build, which is not highlighted on the slide, but will be available soon, just as an outlook. So we'll also bring SAP Build capabilities into the context to have SAP Build also accessing data product, which is not on the slide right now. All right, so the missing part right now is the intelligent application. So this is what we haven't talked about so far. So we're shipping applications which provide intelligence from a line of business perspective. So it's not just content we used to deliver and also continue to provide. The intelligent applications are being built from a line of business perspective, and they are full function once you activate. There will be different flavors of intelligent applications. We just started with analytical applications. But this is just a starting point. So we'll give you more line of business specific applications along the way, also later this year already. And the beautiness on the intelligent applications is that we also release in frequent updates, and the update can be installed and it fully installs and all the different components where once you install an intelligent applications in the first place is it established a connection to your leading application. As a second step, it automatically creates the data products and also the pipelines to process the data. It starts to replicate the data and process the data within the data product context. It also installs within DataSphere because the first applications are from an analytical perspective. So it installs the full models into DataSphere, including the access to the data products. And also it installs a dashboard and SAC to access the models of DataSphere. So you'll end up in a full function intelligent application, which automatically installs. And this is, the behavior we learned over the last month. So we are now ready to release more frequent updates of existing applications, but also release new applications as we speak. The intelligence applications are addressed to focus on different personas within the customer environment. So we are addressing applications for the chief financial officers, for the chief operating officer, which is supply chain intelligence as an example, finance intelligence. We'll talk about spend intelligence. So all our intelligent application focus to address a certain persona within the organization to fulfill their demand. So it would help to also articulate the added value of the intelligent application because we're gonna address the specific personas. So this slide, and this is feedback we got from our beta customers. So they released a pretty high number on the efficiency gain they got. So if you're avoiding to collect the data, to govern the data, like collecting in terms of extracting data, you govern your data access, you transform and also share your data. So if you would be able to exclude this activity and really focus on let SAP manage this process in terms of managing the data products, including the data processing of the data, also syncing the data from the leading application to the data products. So there's an efficiency gain. Probably you feel like, well, 80% is a pretty high number. You can treat that as feedback we got. Also, if the number is a little less, I think there's a lot of improvement you can get. Again, the process to process the data, to govern the data, transform and share the data. So this is the added value of the data products we're providing from an SAP perspective. And you're transitioning your data sphere as an example and your data bricks into we're accessing data products instead of being in charge to extract the data, process the data, stitch it together for reuse, and then finally connect a modeling tool or a data science tool to it. So we're providing this capability. So we'll see a lot of efficiency gain on that level, which helps really to accelerate and become way more agile compared to managing the full process by yourself. So what we are aiming for, I think it's going to be clear from the talk track, we're really focusing on the evolution of the data product. There will be a complete data product economy available. And of course, you can focus on your SAP managed data products, which rely on certain prerequisite, like for S4, you need to be on private cloud edition. So you need to be on a RISE journey to really have S4HANA private cloud edition and able to produce the SAP managed data products. But of course, if you come in and you're not yet on a RISE journey or you're on your way of RISE, you can also get started with your custom managed data product. So this gets you into the situation that you as a customer, need to operate and govern and also process the data using DataSphere tooling today to connect to certain sources, using replication flow technology to replicate the data and monitor the processing. But you'll be able to establish data products already, including the ability to share the data, like share the access to the data, building your own intelligent applications, as an example, or leverage the applications we're offering out of the box. This also integrates with the AI ML capabilities, like using Databricks as an example, or AI Foundation, and including also analytics to access the data products or access the DataSphere model to integrate the data products based on your demand. So therefore, the data product economy will be essential for us to really provide a lot of agility to our customers and also share data for reuse by other components, because we are now really in a situation to share the data, which gets pushed into the data product environment. Of course, using the DataSphere space sharing concept, you can also share in between DataSphere, but this is more focused on data products for general access. Looking at this slide, so it's a kind of a deep dive on what Databricks is offering. So the added value of Databricks is pretty much, existing Databricks and also SAP Databricks now gets the ability to access SAP data from an SAP data product perspective, but also from a custom data product perspective. The added value is that we'll have full metadata description of the data product as an autonomous object. And there's no need to copy data or transform data for Databricks to access. It's simply using the protocol to access the data from a Databricks perspective, and the SAP data products will pop up in the Databricks Unity catalog just as a data set you used to work with, but now will provide also the full metadata description to the data science community. So again, it's an added value for the Databricks community because you get access to current data. Again, as a repeat, the leading applications are frequently syncing the data into the data product. So you always get access to current data, most current data from a Databricks perspective. Now talking about BW, so I touched that already on the previous slide. So we're offering to migrate your BW, like BW 7.5 or BW 4, into a private cloud edition of BW. And this gets you into the notion to land BW data into the data product environment for reuse and for access by DataSphere or by Databricks, as an example. And later this year, we'll also provide the ability to reuse your existing BW query for automatically migration into the DataSphere context, like analytic models. So existing applications from a BW query perspective can be completely pushed into the data product environment along with the BW query data. And once you want to get rid of your complete BW application from a staging process, you can establish the data products as the staging layer, but the data products will be auto provided by SAP, where the context of the data products, of course, is in line with the ODP extractors you are using today from your BW environment. So you get like the same data now from the data product environment. So you can, use the data product as a staging process to feed the previously shifted application into DataSphere to support them with the data processing. Once you establish this one, well, you can, get rid of certain applications of BW. So there's a transition to meet the target of end of maintenance in BW, which will be for pre-W Private Cloud Edition 2030, and for BW4 will be 2040. So there's a clear path, and will provide you the tooling to help you to auto migrate your existing application into the stack of Business Data Cloud. What are the plans for 2025? So as I mentioned before, we experience now the behavior on deploying an intelligent application, and there will be more intelligent application released during the course of this year. So we'll focus on the people, like for workforce structures. We'll focus on sustainability with the product footprint data. We'll focus on spend, on customer experience, and also on supply chain. What's also going to be available, something we call the Data Product Studio. So it's the ability for customers who are not yet on a RISE deal, but they want to reuse the target structures of our data products, like the SAP data products. So the Data Product Studio will be leveraged also for your custom data product to give you a target structure of our SAP data products. But as it's custom managed, you have to establish the data processing to meet the target structure by yourself. But as a support topic, would provide you via the Data Product Studio the same target structures of the SAP data products. We'll also enable partners to provide their own data products. So this is the environment. We have a strong ecosystem with our consulting partners, and they are invited to provide their industry solution within the context of an intelligent application, supporting also to create partner-owned data products. In addition, what's been planned for this year will also enhance the availability of additional data centers where Business Data Cloud will be available, including the ability to also rewire existing DataSphere tenants. Like if you're running on DataSphere and SAC today, you get the ability to integrate your existing DataSphere and SAC into the context of a Business Data Cloud formation. There's no migration required, so we'll simply integrate your existing DataSphere and SAC into the context of a Business Data Cloud formation. From a partner ecosystem perspective, we'll also provide brownfield Databricks access. And I'm sorry. So this gets you into a situation, if you're an existing Databricks customer, we talk about a brownfield Databricks environment. We get you the ability to have your existing brownfield Databricks also access the data products, like similar to the SAP Databricks variant I showed on the previous slides. So that's a service we're going to provide by Q3. And again, it's kind of a way to access your existing Databricks now with SAP data products, including the custom data products. For modernization, so I talked a lot already about the data product generator, relevant for BW 7.5 Private Cloud Edition, but also for BW 4 Private Cloud Edition. We'll give you also, the interoperability between BW 4 or BW 7.5 with Data Products Studio. From a GenAI perspective, we'll have Joule available within Business Data Cloud. And also the knowledge graph, becomes available within Business Data Cloud, like the knowledge graph to analyze the dependencies, like the view configurations in DataSphere, which is always a relationship in between. So we'll use the knowledge graph capability to analyze the dependency, which helps you once Joule, like AI, would access the configuration to get you all the information required to fulfill your question from an AI perspective. And therefore, we'll also have AI agents, like the agentic approach within Business Data Cloud. From a seamless planning perspective, so we'll simply continue our innovation platform from a seamless planning environment. So seamless planning, will be able to access the SAP data products. So that's again an add-on in terms of data management, and it simply, is in line with our strategy to use the data products as the new economy to get access to SAP data. There will be new functions like watch list as an example, but this is the innovation for this year, planned for this year. And therefore, I'd like to end my session and transition into Q&A.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Axel, for your great insights into the SAP Business Data Cloud strategy. So as you've already mentioned, we will now move over to the Q&A part. So to the participants, you can still feel free to include your questions in the chat window. And before we actually move over to the Q&A part, let me shortly just repeat what I've outlined in the beginning. So today, this was the second session of an entire series of webcasts on the topic of SAP Business Suite. So in the description of this video, you can find a link leading to the YouTube playlist where you can access all the past as well as the upcoming sessions that we have scheduled for the next weeks. So use the opportunity and already save the dates in your calendar for the upcoming sessions. And now let's move over to the Q&A, and let me therefore take a look into the chat. So I can see we've already had a few questions in the chat that have been answered by our experts who are monitoring the chat. So thank you very much for that. So let's see if we have any additional questions from the participants. So you can still feel free to include your questions. So we have one question, which is how can Databricks be enabled to access business warehouse data?
Yeah, great question. So again, BW by itself is a full function application where today you get only access to BW once you log in into BW. So therefore, once you're in BW Private Cloud Edition, will provide the data product generator, which helps you to access your BW data from your from your BW application and push that data into the data product, like into the attached object store of Datasphere. So at that point in time, the BW data becomes accessible from a data product perspective. So data of BW now becomes accessible without any further additional replication, like for Datasphere, but also for Databricks as an example.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the clarification here. So let me take another look into the chat. I can currently not see any additional questions. So our experts monitoring the chat have already done a great job. So we still have a couple of minutes left. So to the participants, if there are any questions left, please feel free to include them in the chat window. And one more remark from my side, the slides you have seen in today's presentation will be accessible shortly as PDF file, also via the description of this video. So let me take a last look into the chat. So I can not see any additional questions. So again, thank you very much, Axel, for taking your time, for being with us today, for your insights into the SAP Business Data Cloud. And many thanks also to all the participants who have tuned in today. And it would be great to see you again in one of our future sessions. So with that, have a great day and goodbye.
Thank you.